Today we're going to be taking a drive through the Smoky Mountains. Along the way, we're going to be stopping at some awesome places, including a swim hole, a cabin, and we're going to sample a little bit of a trail along this beautiful path. Unfortunately, there's so much to explore in the Smoky Mountains, we just don't have time to hit everything. I'm exploring the horizon. Let's go ahead and start exploring the Roaring Fork Motor Trail. So we entered through the Roaring Fork Motor Trail through Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Which Gatlinburg, Tennessee, by the way, is also an amazing destination. You could spend weeks there, still not see everything. And plus the surrounding area, Pigeon Forge, even Dollywood is located nearby, which I just happened to have a video about Dollywood if you're interested in checking that out. The Roaring Fork Motor Trail is located in the Great Smoky Mountains. I believe it's considered part of the Appalachian Mountains. It is a 5.5 motorized trail. It's one-way traffic, and average speed through here is going to be 10 miles an hour or less. You're going to want to probably go a lot less in a lot of these sections because there's just so much natural beauty, and you may see wildlife like bears, deers, and other critters out there. So I'm looking for a place for my family. We want to go swimming today, and so I'm looking for a place to park, and unfortunately there is a lot of, I don't really know the area that well, so I decided to get off on foot and walk around and see if I could find anything nearby that will provide a suitable swimming hole. There is a river that runs parallel to this area called Roaring Fork, which the waters do make some kind of a roaring noise, especially after heavy rains. There are also raised places. This trail that I'm on, I don't know if this is supposed to be Bullhead Trail or Rainbow Falls Trails. Nothing was really marked, but I was hoping to actually catch the river itself and find a good place in the river to sit and hang out. I wish I'd had more time because you could really make a huge adventure out of this. Because if you can get out here early enough, you could literally just spend the entire day doing nothing but hiking and sitting in rivers, as well as just exploring cabins and old buildings along the way. So I did find some water, but unfortunately this isn't kind of the water that you want to wade into. And I just know that the Rainbow Falls Trail, as often as I would have liked to have, as awesome as it would have been to do that hike, I know I didn't have time, and I suspect I might be on that trail, but it is a 5.4 mile hike, and it is considered strenuous as you gain 1,500 feet, but this could have also been a Bullhead Trail, which is also a very long hike as well. So I did see that this trail actually went through the middle of the roadway, so I went one way on the roadway. Unfortunately here I'm kind of a little lost on my directions, north, south, east, and west, but I went to the left if you're going down the one way on Roaring Fork, crossed the street and went to the other direction to see what I could find over there. But in the meantime, I swear if I had more time I could have just stayed out here on this trail for all day. Unfortunately, as beautiful as this video is, there's just no justice that can be done to this. This is just, you'll never truly appreciate how beautiful this area is unless you go out there and actually visit it yourself. But this is a very old growth forest. And here I found some more water. And since I do know from a previous visit from a few years ago that the access ways to the river is near the trail itself, I just couldn't remember where it was. I decided that probably wasn't the right spot, so I kept on moving. Along the ways, you can actually kind of see down into different spots, scenic parts. And the parking is a bit of a problem here. Remember, the Smoky Mountains is one of the most heavily visited national parks in the United States. And so if you do want to see a specific part along the trail, you may actually have to make several passes before you go through there. So you should always plan your time accordingly, or just plan on skipping that part altogether, depending upon what your itinerary looks like. And also, if you could just do me a favor and take a moment to subscribe to this channel. And if you subscribe to this channel, you can also check out my playlist that will show more places that you can visit in the Tennessee area. I also have videos in southern New Mexico, Texas, as well as cruise videos if you're interested in checking those out as well. Along the way, you will occasionally come across little bridge crossings, and you'll see other stuff that you can see plainly from the car as you drive. And sometimes I did slow down at certain parts, not only for pedestrians, but also just to admire the beauty here. Parts of this video are sped up just because as beautiful it is, it does get a little bit redundant at times when you're watching at home on your TV or on your mobile device. So here's one of the bridges that I was talking about. I just passed over. But that was taken from my phone as far as what I saw underneath the bridge. This is near one of the also hiking trails. This is actually an easy trail. This is going to be the Trillium Gap. It actually goes to Grotto Falls. I actually did do the Grotto Falls hike before. One of the cool things about Grotto Falls is that you can actually walk directly behind a waterfall. I don't remember the exact length of the trail, but I do remember it was a very easy one. I was actually sick at the time when I hiked it many years ago, and yet in spite of that, I was still able to manage the hike quite well. So we're still looking for our little swimming hole here, but don't worry, we're also going to check out a cabin later on in this video. And if you could just do me a favor, if you could hit that like button, that would also help me out too. This is a view from the bridge that just drove up on. So at one point, people actually did used to live along this route. This is why there's some cabins out here. Before it was part of a national park, the Smoky Mountain National Park, people actually used to grow up here and they spent their lives here and had large families out here. So I can only imagine how cool it would have been to live in such a beautiful place. And also, if you do visit this area, they do have some strict rules. To get in here, the entrance is technically free, so you can drive through here for free as long as you don't stop. If you stop, you need to have a parking permit, which you can get those quite easily. You just have to stop at a ranger station. Just check online. There's several places around Gatlinburg you can get parking passes at. I think it cost $5.25 if I remember correctly. And see a reason as we go past these parking areas, keep noticing a lot of these parking spots are full. If it was up to me and I had more time, besides stopping at bridges and looking at the water for longer, unfortunately I had people backing up behind me, so I had to move. But I would stop at every single one of these. So I finally found a swim hole. Of course, I didn't know this at the time. I just pulled over, again, get off on foot, walk around and see what I find. But luckily I also found a cabin on this one too. And I noticed a lot of other people kept stopping and visiting while we were there. My family and I actually spent hours out here. In fact, it was almost painful because I have lots of video that I didn't include in this video because otherwise it would make the YouTube video go on for too long. I don't think anybody's going to sit here and watch this channel for about 2 or 3 hours. But these are some of the many beautiful highlights I took. And this also happens to be near the Ephraim Bales Cabin, which when I walked up I could see that there was a cabin to the left and made a mental note to go visit the cabin after we got done swimming here. And there were actually a lot of other people that were around. I was able to get some video clips where there weren't that many people in, but no, don't let us fool you. You will see some people in some of the shots though. It was kind of unavoidable. But nearby, the Bales family lived there with their 9 kids, so I would imagine this was probably a cool place to go and visit and hang out at when you're a little kid. And like I said earlier, I did not want to leave this spot. If I would have had a tent with me and I could have got away with it, I probably would have set up a tent and stayed here for days. And the water was very cool and refreshing. It was a little bit cold, but it wasn't that bad. And I think it was around 90 degrees, so It felt great. And there was a little trail that went on parallel to it, so you can get up on the top. And then so before we left, we decided to go visit the cabin. This belonged to Ephraim Bales. And if you notice this fence right here that's falling apart, I was told by a volunteer that there used to be a lot more fence there until a few years ago when a group of kids went around kicking down the fence. Very sad. And when I went in here, there was a lot of people. Nobody hardly went in there because apparently there was a copperhead snake found underneath the building that somebody had just noticed right before I got there. So I got to get kind of a private showing by myself in this cabin. From what I understood is that one part of this cabin was used by the family to live in, like kind of a living room. The other part was more of a kitchen. It was actually 2 cabins built into one. And I think I also read that that was some sort of building for some sort of livestock too. But they own 70 acres, and this is where they spent their lives. And unfortunately, on the wood paneling itself, people had to leave graffiti there and ruin it, which is very unfortunate because, this stuff should be preserved for future generations. And, remember, we got to be respectful. This used to be somebody's home. And there's what's left of that fence, unfortunately. From what I was told by the volunteer, I tried to interview the volunteer for this video, but he wouldn't let me interview him. But he did tell me that there's some very hefty fines if you try to move anything, including a rock, even if you just pick a flower and take it with you. So on the way out, there are other places to stop at. There's if you look to the left, you might see some river there. And you will also, as we get closer, we'll start seeing Eli Mill. That's a little shopping area. I've heard they sell good honey there. I didn't actually stop and buy it. This to the left is a waterfall. It's called 1,000 Drips. You can actually see that from your vehicle. So I'm sure the people that are watching this on the TV probably are getting a better view. And that's where you want to park if you want to get out and see it. Unfortunately, everybody was tired and everybody wanted to leave out of here quickly because they wanted to go out to dinner. So that's unfortunately, that's why I skipped over that part for this video. And there's also vacation rental cabins nearby too. In fact, I actually stayed not too far from this. So I was only a few blocks. At this point in the video, I'm only like a few blocks from where my cabin was. But anyway, check out one of these other videos and please hit that like, subscribe button if you haven't already done so. And also for more Tennessee videos, check out that playlist. Hope you have a good day.